Hello,
Hiya!
welcome to another episode of Spreadable.
I believe this might be episode 9.
Episode 9, today we're talking about Tina.
Tina's this awesome live art festival held here in Newcastle, and it was one of the first projects that I jumped on when I first moved up here and joined Head Jam. I was super excited to present this one this week.
Yeah, This Is Not Art has been going on for a while now, and it's a really visually strong campaign. And yeah, we're going to talk to a bunch of our team about it.
Yeah, so this week you'll be hearing from Luke for the brief, and then Mike, Sarah Cook, Ben, and then Sarah Spence for some art direction, and then myself with the broadcast.
Awesome, let's get into it.
All
We'll
right.
see you soon.
See ya!
Bye.
Tina has a very special place in Head Jam's hearts. Tina's been championing Newcastle before Newcastle championed itself from an arts and cultural creative perspective. So when we came on board, we really, for the first time, we were trying to bring data and results and metrics. So we worked with a number of partners that Tina had organised to do marketing evaluation and visitor evaluation surveys, and that was really critical. So not only did we work on the creative aspect, but we encouraged that side of the development with the pure emphasis on trying to secure additional funding to make the festival sustainable. So we collaborated with Tina in 2015, 2016 and 2017, and we had a good 3-year stint where hopefully we helped and hopefully we provided a little bit of stability to the visual identity of that festival. And to hand that reins over to other creatives, it's a really challenging thing to do, to let your baby loose, but it's really great. And to see that festival last year be promoted in the positive way that it was, and I'm really excited to see what happens this year.
I think we solved many of the issues to do with Tina in the first time we sat down with them and looked at what they were doing and saw the program, looked at previous work that had been done, and we actually thought that basically what we needed to do was have a simple structure that would allow them to change. So we needed to be flexible, but also what we needed to do each year was come up with a strong visual idea that would allow us to pull all that together.
The This Is Not Art Festival, or known to friends as Tina, is an underground and emerging artists festival that happens every year in Newcastle. It's a great place for experimentation, and you see a whole lot of stuff that is wild and wacky and unexpected and just feels really playful to be able to experience something that's maybe not quite 100% polished, but that's its charm. So our solution for such a diverse festival was actually quite stripped back, because what we didn't want to do was try to pin down what each artist was. It just had to be a clean slate that the artists could then be the personality and the experimentation and that wildness. So our brand solution was quite simple and typographic style, and in the past they'd rebranded every year, which keeps things fresh, but at the same time it wasn't getting the recognition that it needed. It had been in Newcastle for over 20 years now, and lots of people still didn't know about it. So part of the concept was the use of colour. So each year it was a different colour, and that started with the first year we did a balloon and then black that's got splattered across it and the balloon turned black. We then took that idea of these black balloons all around the city, because it's quite a spread out festival and it activates lots of different spaces throughout Newcastle. We really needed that wayfinding, those markers to say, hey, Tina's over here. So we used balloons to do that the first year, and then from there we just chose a different colour each year. So one year it was green, one year it was blue, and what it really meant was that we could just make it known that this was somewhere where Tina was happening by using colour, and it was also a really effective way to kind of refresh everything.
We decided to build the Tina app as a way for users on the go to be able to look up at what events we're on. Normally this sort of thing might be just outsourced to another developer, or even just using a service like Eventbrite. But we found it quite handy. They could just come with us with a problem. We could solve it then and there. One of the big ones was they needed to be able to change a lot of locations at short notice if an event moved somewhere else. And we developed a system where they could quickly change the venue and notify their app users about it. It was good to hear my friends talking about Tina after it's been running for years, and they never mentioned it before, but after the last couple of years, I heard people that I hadn't mentioned our project to speaking about it. It was quite fun and cool.
We needed to produce a video that sort of showcased the colour of Tina 2017, which was this like brilliant blue. I got to work on the concept behind the video, and we came up with this idea that we would build this basically screen or canvas and sort of attach this stretchy blue fabric to the front. And then we would get people to interact with it from behind, creating these like really beautiful, quite kind of creepy but interesting shapes. So this is one of those sort of bang for buck concepts where we wanted something really high impact that wasn't too hard to turn around, and it was really nice the way that it quite quickly came together. So for me personally, it's one of my favourite pieces we've worked on, like from concept to execution. As I said, it was quick, it was fast, it was simple, and it worked really well. It had a really great response online.
Just before my time, Josh, the broadcast designer just before me, did this really cool video for their 2015 festival where it was a white balloon that was floating in the wind, and then suddenly this big splash of black would then like come out from off camera and just envelop the balloon. It comes back up and it turns into a black balloon, and that was all done in 3D. So when it came to my turn to produce the Tina video for 2016, I felt there was quite a bar that had already been set by Josh. I was kind of thrown in the deep end with this one because it was pretty much just in a concept phase when I was given it. All I was told was the theme colour was green, and we were thinking of maybe having ink or something be poured over contributors, and we were going to film their reaction shots. So taking on this concept, I was trying to figure out a really interesting dynamic way to make that work. And that's when I thought, well, why don't we try and shoot this in slow-mo and key out most of the colour so that the only thing that was in colour would be the goop that we were pouring over people. One of our great friends of the studio, Carl Brandstatter, was more than happy to lend us his red as well as his cinematography skills, and together we shot this really cool piece where we had people come and sit down in a set. We created this sort of milky consistency type of cream, and I think what was really awesome about shooting it in a fast frame is that you really caught people's reaction, and unfortunately we couldn't heat the cream because it would have been a pretty smelly shoot, but I think their reaction of it being cold and the shock of it going all over them was real, and it was there. And I think that's also what live art is. It's an instant moment that isn't scripted. So I was quite happy with that piece, and I think, yeah, it was pretty fun being thrown in the deep end at that point. So for the 2017 video, it was really interesting seeing how different people reacted to that fabric in very different ways. So some people who might have been dancers really put their body through it and had their body flow, and you could see this really clear outline of a shoulder or a hip, and then some people just pushed their faces in, and you could actually see bits of beard and nose and chin. So that was really cool, and it was quite a pleasant surprise considering that there was a very quick turnaround in getting that video out from concept through to execution.